And she did one just fine. And I said, well, why don't you try one on your own? And she did one on her own. And I said, well, I thought you said you couldn't do this. And she put her hands on her hips and said, I said I couldn't do one without a spot. And kind of yelled at me.
She didn't really talk back, but she kind of, I don't know if you'd call it yelling, but she kind of spoke up to Steve. And that was really funny for all of us because, you know, usually the new girl on the team doesn't talk very much. And it was just funny to see a big voice coming out of that little person.
See that? Gem of the gym. And Shannon Miller seems to improve with age. See that? What you can look forward to? You'll improve with age. Pretty cool, huh?
It's important to me to just have fun in gymnastics, and I think if I keep going the way I am, I'm looking forward to Atlanta.
We'll see if Mina Kim is indeed good enough for Atlanta and, as we mentioned earlier in the show, old enough.
Well, Dan, Mina's focus right now is her routine. She had a near miss in the warm-ups on a release skill. It was a fairly scary moment. Could have taken her out of the competition. I'll point out the skill. We'll see if she can handle it in the competition. Here comes the Tkachev. Very difficult. No problems, and that is a long way down to the low bar.
She does look nothing bigger than a toothpick up there.
This is a riot here. It's like, whee! Look out. Double laid out somersault. She just flings her body in the air.
That's the advantage that she has, being her size.
Well, you'll notice that her coach, Steve Nuno, is not here. He is with her teammate, Shannon Miller, at the Pan American Games.
She has perfect form in her giant swings, but here's the skill coming up that she had some problems with in the warm-up. She just got by in the competition. Nice combination of giants with twisting action, and then here's the Tkachev. And you'll see she doesn't get a whole lot of height on this skill. Just squeaks by. That's close.
And in the warm-up, she hit the bar there and almost flipped over. As you said, it was potentially very dangerous.
And Tim, on this dismount, I mean, she looks like she's swinging men's high bar. That's the advantage. She doesn't have to break any body positions whatsoever. She has perfect form right here in the giant swings. And as you said, this does look like an awful lot of fun right here. Nails the dismount.
Look at me, Mom.
She became a U.S. citizen with her parents just last summer, and as she goes back to sit down and await her score, we'll see her partner, Brian.
Etiquette begins at breakfast. We pour the cereal, we select the spoon.
Well, Mina Kim can only watch and wait for her partner, Brian Yee, to try to advance them to the gold medal round. Mina just completing her uneven bar routine, and there is Brian Yee set for the floor exercise as we continue the action in round 2.
Welcome, Brian Yee.
Brian actually has a very difficult exercise.
The encore exercise today.
He'll start out with a skill called a double laid out somersault. 2 flips in the air. Body should be totally stretched. Very nicely done. Maybe just a little bit off balance on the landing. Multiple. Oh, a little bit off on that right there. Judges are being more and more strict about just the smallest, minute errors. Now, all he is thinking is dismount. Remember, I pointed out his first tumbling run was a double laid out somersault. He'll attempt the same thing. Endurance is the key here. Needs a lot of power. No. Yow.
21-year-old Brian Yee from the University of Minnesota, his partner Mina Kim, hoping his floor exercise will give them enough to get into the gold medal round.
And that dismount we talked about just kind of ran out of gas here, it looked like. Need a tremendous amount of power at the end and just can't seem to pull that around. And that hurts when you land like that.
Now, while Brian Yee was performing, Mina Kim didn't exactly like the stumble.
Grimaces in pain.
Now she's all smiles.
Too tired.
And you can hear Brian Yee mentioning the fatigue factor, and his score reflects that. Excellent score for Mina Kim on the bars, and there is the total.
You know, one thing to keep in mind is the men's scores typically are lower. An excellent exercise for the men might only score a 9.45, whereas the women can get a 9.85. But this score right here, not a good one.
Not a good one indeed for Brian Yee. And for this team, there have been 3 other teams that have scored higher, so Mina Kim and Brian Yee have been eliminated. Now the Japan team, Mari Kasugi, 19 years old, and she's on the balance beam.
Dan, you talk about veterans. She's 19 years old, has been the national champion 6 times, a true veteran, and she has a lot of difficulty on each apparatus. So take a look at this beam routine. Opened up already with a very difficult mount. Here's her combination of tumbling skills. Solid.
Well, Alpha, you mentioned Japan's national champion 6 of the last 7 years. She is the most successful women gymnast that Japan has ever had.
And Dan, she's still hanging in there. That's what's so impressive. Obviously, the experience of her international competitions is paying off right here on the balance beam, a risky event for your second round of competition.
Oldest woman competitor by far today at 19 years old.
She has been absolutely amazing in this exercise. Nice variety of skills, including layouts and in combination, and then right there, a very solid front summy. She's had some problems on her dismount. Had problems on the uneven bars. See if she has enough right here. Double back, a little bit low. Just didn't have enough to get around.
And there's her teammate, also very experienced, Hikaru Tanaka, getting ready for the rings.
And there's your total for this round, an 18.2.
Boy, you need a lot of height, especially at the end of the routine. She had good height right there, but it just died afterwards. You can see very low landing. That's a severe deduction.
So while we await the score of Mari Kasugi, we'll get a look again at her teammate, Hikaru Tanaka. And not only is Mari Kasugi the #1 women gymnast in Japan, this is the national champion for the men here.
This is a great exercise for him. Very strong athlete as well. Shows a lot of variety and very nice Maltese. One of the problems with the new code of points, the evaluation tool for gymnastics this time around, is unfortunately it encourages repetition of the same elements over and over again. But he does show us a nice variety. One will come right here. It's called a gutsogi. He does it with straight legs. Very difficult. He'll do it again, tucked. Oh, he's picked up a little bit of swing. And yes, Dan, the name of this event is the still rings. They did the swinging rings, but that was a long time ago. Just the dismount, back on track, but small little step there.
Hikaru Tanaka, 22 years old, also a member of the 6th place team from Japan at the recent World Team Championships.
You know, this is great stuff, though. Look at this. Beautiful skill there, done with straight legs. Does it one more time, and this is where it kind of goes wrong. Picks up some swing right there and really gets going there.
And the score for Tanaka, just a 9.3, reflected some of the swinging movement in his still rings routine, and the total for Team Japan. And to this point in the second round, that is the 3rd best score. So that knocks out the duo of Jay Thornton of the United States and France's Cecile Kakato. Coming up, the last American team with a chance to make the gold medal round, Mohini Bhardwaj and Rob Kiefer.
Sometimes you don't. I'm enjoying my love. don't, because sometimes you feel like a, sometimes.
Interesting skill right here, side summy. Beautiful.
She may not be a familiar name, but she's trained at the same gym that produced Olympians Brandy Johnson and Wendy Bruce.
Dan, she is right on. And remember, the key here is to be clean and to stay on.
We go, just the dismount.
Wow, nice exercise. Talk about confidence.
Good job, good job, good job.
Coach Ray Nat, some words of encouragement there for Mohini.
And if you're wondering about her name, her father is Indian, her mother is Russian, and her name means illusion in Indian. But this very real beam routine for Mohini.
A little bit of an illusion how any athlete can do that on just 4 inches of balance beam.
So with the excellent routine from Mohini Bardwaj on the beam, she'll now await the performance of Rob Kiefer. Now, we've mentioned that this squad needs 18.838 to advance to the gold medal round, and with Mohini's routine, that puts them well within reach.
Certainly does, and Rob Kiefer has one of the most difficult floor exercise routines being done in the world today. He's just got to get through it without a mistake. This mount is amazing. He'll do a double laid out somersault with a full twist. Right there, full twist. Oh. It's so hard. I can't explain to you how hard that is. A little bit awkward looking on that landing, but... And also a little bit of a stumble there. But as I stated, this routine has so much difficulty. It really helps a tremendous amount in his final score. Lands a big dismount. Remember earlier we saw Brian Yee perform a double laid out somersault, land short, need a lot of endurance. Same dismount right here. Oh, once again. Not enough juice at the end. Now I don't know, Dan. Now I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Well, we still don't know. Bhardwaj's score. We'll get them in just a moment, both of them.
Second pass right here. Very tricky. 3 elements in a row. And as I said, just a little bit awkward looking on the landing. Brian Yee couldn't get it around, and neither could Rob Kiefer this afternoon. Very difficult at the end. You're so tired. And just not enough rotation. Hands go down and a mandatory deduction.
Remember, this team needs an 18.838 combined to get to the final round, and they'll surpass that. Because the combined score there, better, 18.975. So Bhardwaj and Kiefer are into the gold medal round, the lone Americans to make it. And they will have a cheering section, tiny as it may be, but Mina Kim will be rooting on her United States teammates as they make their way into the gold medal round. Here are the standings after round 2. Leading the way, Anna Maria Bakan of Romania, along with Marcello Barbieri of Italy. The Ukrainian team of Irina Bulikova and Rustam Sharipov are second, followed by the Americans Bhardwaj and Kiefer. We'll be right back. And we bring you back to the Great Northwest, Seattle, Washington, as we continue the 1995 International Mixed Pairs. Let's take a look at the competition order for the final round. And since Kiefer and Bhardwaj finished third, They will go first, followed by the second-place team of the Ukrainians, Irina Bolikova and Rustam Sharipov, and Anna Maria Bakan and Marcello Barbieri will go third.